Windsong is a powerhouse when it comes to single target burst. She has a very unique playstyle where she can hoard a large amount of incantations in her hand and then unleash them all at once with her ultimate. She also has a mechanic that would make Lydia very jealous, where her skill 1 can convert excessive crit rate into crit damage. In this video, we'll dive deep into how Windsong's kit works, how to maximize her ultimate for the max burst, and how the new tuning that is coming with patch 1.9 will make her even stronger. Windsong's kit might seem complicated at first glance, but it's actually quite manageable once you understand the basics. Let's break it down into a few key sections, starting with the Eureka mechanic. Both of her skill grants 1 Eureka, while her ultimate grants 2. If you have at least 2 Eurekas, her skill 1 will consume them to increase its multiplier and converts excessive crit rate into crit damage. You don't actually have to stress too much about the cost of those 2 Eurekas, because most of the times you will only use her skill 1 through her ultimate. Her ultimate first applies 1 confusion to the enemy target, and then grants her the mapping buff for the turn. Then it converts all her skill 2 into skill 1 of the same rank before unleashing all of them at the enemy, with each individual skill used counting as a separate follow-up attack. While mapping is active, her skill 1 no longer costs any Eureka, and any excessive Eureka she generates is converted into Measure. Measure is the second key part of her kit. It's a stacking buff that grants her 3% crit rate and crit damage per stack, up to 15 stacks lasting for 2 turns. Windsong can also get Measure stack when confusion is applied to an enemy or whenever she or an ally lands a critical hit. In practice, most of this Measure stack will effectively convert into 6% crit damage when paired with crit support like Villa. Now, the way Measure is generated can get a bit tricky. Let's say an attack applied 2 stack of confusion and also critically strike, then Windsong would gain 3 stack of measures, 2 from the confusion and 1 from critical hit. If 2/3 healing crits, it also grants Windsong a stack of measure. And a character who can crit with Genesis, such as 37, generates 2 Measure stacks instead of 1 when their skill crits. The third and most crucial aspect of Windsong's kit, which dictates her rotation, is Preparation Windsong. There are 2 ways to gain Preparation Windsong, through her skill 2 or her ultimate. This mechanic is essential for maintaining her rotation and works differently from the Preparation effect seen with Splodia. Preparation Windsong first grants her a precast of skill 1, and if she doesn't have skill 2 in hand, it will also grant her a precast of skill 2. This ensures that Windsong always has the skill 2 ready, providing her with incredible rotation stability. What's more, Preparation Windsong can be stacked. Her skill 2 grants a 2 stack at rank 2 and 3 stack at rank 3. For those who are unfamiliar with precast, it's essentially a temporary version of a skill that must be used within the turn that is granted. If not used, the precast skill will be discarded at the end of the turn. Additionally, it won't be refreshed when you use the tuning skill. A precast card will lose its precast property if it's fused with another card. So with all this mechanic in mind, how do you actually play Windsong? Let's break it down real quick. Windsong's gameplay revolves around loading up as many cards in her hand as possible and stacking buff before using her ultimate. She doesn't follow a strict rotation, but there are 2 key things to focus on. Use her skill 2 every turn to ensure her rotation continues smoothly, and keep as many precast versions of her skill 1 as possible by fusing them, in order to maximize the damage of her ultimate. Now, there are a few ways to optimize Windsong's stacking. When you don't have a skill 1 to fuse with her precast card, you can always use the tuning skill to generate a special card to fuse. Another thing is, if you manage to get 2 stack of Preparation Windsong, it will give you 2 skill 1s, and they will basically auto-fuse next turn. You can take advantage of this mechanic by using her skill 2 before casting her ultimate, as long as you have enough action point to do it. Since her ultimate also gives you an actual stack of Preparation Windsong, doing this will give you 2 stack for the next turn. Although you might be sacrificing a rank 1 skill from being thrown out during her ultimate, I still think this is totally worth doing. Once you get the new tuning introduced in 1.9, the whole process gets a lot easier. The first tuning skill lets you consume the rightmost incantation for cost, which speed up your rotation significantly. And the second tuning skill allows you to generate a precast version of both skill 1 and skill 2 of a selected character. This is especially useful when you find yourself in a situation where you can't naturally keep up the skill 1 you just got in hand. The great thing about this is that both the precast from Preparation Windsong and the tuning skill will drop on the left side of your hand, so they'll naturally fuse together after using. Plus, since you also get a skill 2, it practically guarantees that you have 2 skill 1s ready for the next turn, which will fuse together on their own. Windsong's portraits are definitely powerful, though none of them directly impact her rotations. When it comes to Psychube choices, I actually wouldn't recommend going for Windsong's signature. Surprisingly, Junyang's Psychube is stronger than her signature when fully stacked, and this effect is not that hard to stack with the right Windsong rotation. At A5, June's Psychube give up to 50% crit damage and 28% crit rate, which is pretty wild. If you can consistently keep Blast from off night active, it can also outperform her signature Psychube by a little. Plus, since she's probably not going to be on the same team as Jessica or Do, you can save some of those precious Psychube materials for other uses this time around. If you really want to get the most out of Windsong, choosing the right teammate is crucial. For secondary support or sub DPS, I highly recommend 37. The synergy between them is absolutely fantastic. First off, 37 has a pretty stable crit rate, especially if you got her Portrait 1. Since her skill deals Genesis damage, she's one of the best characters for stacking Mishra for Windsong. Plus, she can also dish out some decent damage while Windsong is gearing up for her ultimate. Another great thing is that every attack Windsong throws out with her ultimate counts as a follow-up attack, which means she can quickly generate Eureka for 37. Now, like I said before, Windsong also get a huge boost from damage bonuses, so characters like the Prologist, Anan Lee, or Pickles are great choices to pair with her. Just line up their buff with Windsong's ultimate each time, and you're good to go. Coverage isn't really a big deal with Windsong. 6 is another solid option. While he doesn't offer the big damage bonuses that other support I listed have, he does cover Incantation Might, which helps boost Windsong's ultimate damage. He also provides an Incantation rank up buff, which further enhances her ultimate performance. So even without the huge damage bonuses, 6 can still be a great support for her. When it comes to healers, Windsong works well with both Tooth Fairy and Villa. But if you have Villa, she's definitely the better choice here. Villa can give Windsong a massive boost in crit rate and crit damage whenever. On top of that, Villa's ultimate boosted buff directly increases the Incantation's multiplier based on his rank, since Windsong will typically have a good number of rank 2 or even rank 3 spells lined up when she uses her ultimate. Having Villa's enhanced buff with Windsong ultimate can lead to some absolutely insane damage. Overall, Windsong is a solid single target DPS with highly satisfying playstyle in my opinion, centered around stacking Incantation and unleashing devastating damage with her ultimate. However, she can be easily countered by debuff that disrupt her rotation by preventing her from using her ultimate or her skill 2. If you are in need of a strong DPS, Windsong is a great choice. That said, at least for free-to-play players, it might be wise to prioritize the next patch. After all, it's the anniversary patch with a true limit banner coming up. As always, this has been SteamBandX. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.